welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. We're just going to jump right into this video. So I'm going to start by cleansing my face with a cotton pad with some micellar water. Taking my Mario Dabesky spray and spraying that all over my face for hydration. Then I'm going in with my CeraVe facial moisturizer, and I'm going to be rubbing that all into my skin. Now, after moisturizer, I'm going in with my Watermelon Glow Recipe Serum, and I'm just going to be applying that in circular motions all over my T-zone areas and just all over my face, period, just for some added hydration. You guys, I really do add hydration because I have dry skin, and when I say dry, I mean extra dry. Then I'm going in with my Morphe Continuous Spray and just spraying that all over my face just to set all of those serums and moisturizers in. So now that we're done with skin prep, I'm moving on to brows. I'm just gelling and taming my brows with the Wet n Wild brow tamer. Now, after applying brow tamer, I'm just going in and concealing my brows. So I'm going to be taking my Tarte Shape Tape concealer in the colors closest to my skin tone, and I'm going to be using that for the front of my brows. Then I'm going in with my Milani Cosmetics at the tailbone of my brows, and I'm just going to be using that to kind of give it some highlight, some definition. And I am now a girly who does their brows last, but I found that doing and carving your brows first saves so much time, and doing your eyes, just not technically applying the product to the brow. So here I am, you see me starting with the lighter concealer first. I'm just going to be kind of carving out my tail end of my brow bone. Then I'm going to be dragging that color down because I'm going to be using that as an eyeshadow base. Once you've done that to both eyes with the lightest part first, then you're going to go into the front. And you're going to do the same thing. So basically just spreading that concealer out, bringing it down, and then you're going to blend them all together. And that's going to create your eyeshadow base. Okay, so now I'm just taking a brush and I'm going to be blending out the concealer. You can take a smaller brush if you're not necessarily if you're new to this actually. You just need to take a smaller brush and just blend out that concealer. It may take you a little bit more time. But yeah, you just want to blend it all out, make it as even as possible. Now, before applying eyeshadow, I take some loose powder or translucent powder on a powder puff and I apply it on top of the concealer. That way, it just gives you a smoother applying base to apply your eyeshadow. Now, I'm going in with my first transition shade. So, I'm taking like this orangish, peachish shade and I'm just applying that all over to my lid. Just want to pack some color on there. Now, after that, I'm going to go in with a darker brown shade. I am using the Color Pop Essential palette. I'm going to list all of the products down below, so don't fret, ladies. But I'm going to pack that brown in there, and then I'm going to take that brown with a little bit more pigment onto that brush and pack it all over my lid. I love to have a brown base if I'm doing a smoky eye, and then go on top with the black. That way it just has a more seamless blend. So that's what you'll see me doing here. I am adding the black to that on top of that brown, and boom, look, your eye is done. Just those three simple steps. Now I'm going on to wing liner here. So I'm taking my Wet n Wild mattifying liner, and I'm just going to be drawing my wings. So I usually start at the front of my eye and then work my way to the end or to the wing part. And I start by just drawing one line out near toward my brow. You just want to make sure it aligns with your brow, and then I draw it kind of back in just to fill it in. I don't know, ladies. I think it's just easier if you just start out with making a line and then coming back to fill it in. Now that the eyes are complete, we're moving on to primer. I'm applying my e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. Then once I apply that and let it sit for a bit, I am going in with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. And I'm just going to be applying that all over to the high points of my face that I want to highlight, as in under my eyes, my forehead, my chin, and down the bridge of my nose here. And yes, this is underpainting. And if you don't know what underpainting is, I'm going to do a whole tutorial about that on my next video, so don't worry. Okay, once your concealer is applied and before blending it out, you want it to lay down on your face and kind of just dry up a bit. So I'm going in with my contour stick. So this is going to be the Black Opal contour sticks. I absolutely love them. They're so creamy, so buttery, and they blend so easily. Okay, so I'm just going to be applying that all around the places where I want to contour to kind of chisel my face. I do have a pretty round face, so I do kind of like to heavy contour a bit. It will not look as dark as I'm going through the process, ladies. I know it looks kind of scary right now, like damn she dark or damn she using a dark color, but no, I promise you it's going to blend out. Just trust the process. That's why I do not like to face my clients toward a mirror while I'm doing their makeup, because makeup is literally a process. You're going to look scary, but it's going to come together. I promise. Okay, once the contour is applied, here we are moving on to foundation. So I only apply foundation to the lower parts of my face, and it helps to blend that contour with that cheekbone and jawline. So I do this after I applied my concealer and my contour, and like I said, it just helps with the seamless transition blend. And I am using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation for this look today. Now that we have our contour blended all the way out, we have our foundation applied, and now it's time to blend out this concealer. So I'm taking a powder puff and I'm going to blend out this concealer. Okay, y'all. Now I know I look crazy. And this concealer is definitely full coverage, but I'm showing you how to blend them. So when you're blending out your concealer, and I mean like the outer portions to make it like a seamless blend, and I learned this from a YouTuber and I do not remember her name, but when I do, I'm gonna let y'all know because her videos are fire. But you're just gonna want to take your foundation brush, okay? Foundation brush, whatever brush you use for your foundation to apply, even if you use a beauty blender, and use that to blend the edges, okay? So that's what you see me doing for my forehead, and that is why it is blended, because you want to take your foundation brush, not your contour brush that you use to contour, but foundation, just to give it a more seamless blend. Then you move on to the rest of the face. Now that we blended out our first concealer, which was a tart shape tip we used for the front of the brow, now we're using the Milani concealer that we use for the tailbone of the brow, and apply that over and let it dry down. I'm going to take my Morphe spray and spray it. So my camera and light had definitely cut off, ladies, while I was recording me powdering up. So I just want to explain that I did use the Dermatology's translucent powder, and I applied that all over my under eye first. And then now I'm going in with my Laura Mercier translucent powder and applying that on top just to give it a different bit of color, because even though it says translucent, it does have a little of a yellowish tint to it. So I do apply that on top, and that is what's giving me this full bright look, because I do like to have brighter under eyes if I'm doing a darker eye, just so you won't darken or wash out your face. Now you're going to take a powdered face foundation. I'm using the Morphe in the shade number 10, and I'm just going to be applying that in all over the places where I did not apply the concealer. Want to make sure you do that step, so then that way all of those creams can be turned into powders and be flattened. And yeah, so then now moving on to using my Black Opal cream to powder foundation, and I apply that all over to the lower parts of my face. Then I'm going in with my contour. I am using the Morphe face powder again, but I'm using it in the color 13, and I lightly apply it on my cheekbone. So I go heavy on my forehead, my jawline, and my chin, just because again I do have a more rounder face. But onto my cheekbones, I kind of make it a little bit lighter because you don't want to make it too muddy or too heavy with the contour. I usually, to bring back some color, I'm using blush. I'm a blush girly, and I feel like that is more than enough to bring those cheeks back to life. So I am lightly guiding and putting on the contour. As you can see, the face is already starting to come together slowly but surely. Now we're moving on to nose contour. This is low-key my favorite part of doing my makeup. So the secret to a snatched nose is powder, and I'm going to show y'all. So again, you're going to want to take that same contour powder that you use for the outside of your face. So again, I'm using Morphe 13. And you're just going to want to take a small brush. You can even take a smaller brush than this. And just really carve out your nose however you like it. I usually just like to carve out the sides and go under my nose. I know some people go on the top of their nose. I don't do all that. I just like to, bring it down, bring it around, bring it back up. Okay, so this is the part that is going to snatch the nose up. So you're going to want to take some translucent powder, and you're going to want to do exactly what I'm doing here. You're literally taking that powder and carving out the excess contour, because I was trying to see how I was going to explain that. You want to take that powder and kind of just like cover up any excess contour. You want to really like make that line straight, tiny, snatch. That's how you're going to get that snatched nose. Now I'm going in with my Kylie Jenner blush. You guys, I looked up and found this blush at Ross one day and it has been my go-to. Usually don't wear pink blush, but it's definitely been a staple lately and I've been loving the looks that the lady's been creating with the pink, so I've been trying it and I absolutely loved it, even though I did for this look pair it with an orange red blush, only because I feel like with, browner skin tones, that orange, you need that orangish reddish blush. Like it just brings back that warmth really well. So that's what you'll see me doing here. Is just me adding that orangish red tone, and that kind of like brings the face together. Now to make our face a little bit more snatched, this part is optional. But I'm going in with a translucent powder again, and I'm going to carve out our cheekbones just because, like I said, y'all, I have a more rounder face. This part is very optional if you have a more chiseled face or structured face. My face is so round, I have got to do these things, okay? Now for brows, I'm going in with my Ulta Beauty pomade in the color chocolate brown and just filling in my brows. I didn't do any very detailed process for this just because I do want to make a separate video on how I do my brows. I have been loving the transition of doing my eyebrows after makeup. I just feel like it just sits very nicely. The color takes very well and it applies so smoothly. And yeah, now time for the little details. I am applying that same transition shade that we used, the very first transition shade, and I'm applying that all under my eye just to bring a little bit more color underneath there. Then I'm going to with my Inglot gel liner in the color 77, and I'm going to be applying that all over my waterline very heavily just because I do want a smoked out look for this eye. Now, taking that same brush you applied your bottom eyeshadow with, you want to take it and blend out that liner just to really smoke out that under eye. Now to remove some of that translucent powder, I'm going in with my Maybelline face powder, and this is in the shade, I believe, 220. And I'm just going to be applying that all where I applied the concealer. This is just to give it, some more powder so it definitely sits very well, and just to remove any excess loose powder that you had. And yeah, now you're just going to want to take a clean, fluffy brush and just remove any of the excess translucent powder. If you did do that step to carve out your face, take some Morphe spray, spray your face, get all those powders blended together. Now we're moving on to mascara. So I love this part. Some ladies do not like it. I feel like this just makes the eyes pop, period. Putting mascara on your bottom lashes, even if you don't have any, you have to make the illusion that you have some, and that is what I do because I do not have a whole lot. And when I tell you, it really does something to the eyes. Now moving on to highlighter, I am using my Bodyography highlighter. This is in their golden shade. And then I top it with the Nicka K highlighter. And then it just goes and pairs so well. Now for lips, I'm moving on to my Nicka K. I'm using the brown liner first, and I just wanted to show y'all what this looked like with a neutral lip, even though I wanted to go red. So I'm just showing y'all here. This is what it looked like with a neutral lip. You could have left it pink, went glossy, and went perfect. But I kind of wanted to do red. I wanted to make this look very dramatic. So here I am going in. I believe I got this red from the beauty supply store, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, because I don't even have no name on it. But it is super red, super mattifying, and I absolutely love it. Then I just go back and trace it with my black liner from Ruby Kisses. And yeah, go in and add your moles with your liquid liner. This part is optional too, but I gotta have my moles, y'all. After applying all the final details and touches, I'm going with my Charlotte Tilbury spray to spray and mattify it down. And this is the final look. Hope you ladies enjoy. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe. See you next time.